There's a paradox destroying the minds of the most disciplined people alive. Entrepreneurs who sleep 4 hours. Athletes training twice daily. Students grinding through midnight. Professionals optimizing every waking moment. They meditate at dawn. Track their calories. Journal their thoughts. Schedule recovery time. Do everything right. And yet, their minds are slower than ever. Decisions take longer. Focus fractures easier. That sharp edge they once had? Gone. They call it burnout. The samurai called it something else. Shinro no teishi, the stopping of the mind's wheels. And they had a practice so counterintuitive, so seemingly backwards, that Miyamoto Musashi warned in the Book of 5 Rings, "Do not teach this to those who seek only technique." Here's the disturbing part. You cannot think your way out of mental fatigue. Every productivity hack you've learned, every time management system, every focus technique, is making it worse. Because you're trying to solve a fire with gasoline. The samurai discovered something neuroscience is only now confirming. Your mind doesn't need more discipline. It needs a specific type of cessation that modern psychology has completely misunderstood. If you don't grasp this, you'll spend your life running faster on a wheel that's slowly grinding your mental capacity to dust. In this video, you'll discover the forbidden practice that allowed Musashi to write, train, and fight without mental fatigue for over 30 years. The physiological mechanism that makes it work. And the exact method to implement it, starting today. But first, you need to understand how one samurai discovered this truth when his mind broke during the most critical moment of his life. Spring, 1612. The northern coast of Kyushu Island. Salt wind cuts across the shore where two rivals will finally meet. Word has spread across 5 provinces. The greatest duel of the era is hours away. Takeshi was 24 years old when his mind began to unravel. He'd been training under the Yaju Shinkidryu school for 8 years. Won 17 duels without defeat. Could execute the Kasumi no Kami stance for 2 hours without trembling. Read the sword treatises of 3 masters. Practice kata before dawn and after dusk. His sensei called him Iron Mind. But he had a problem that no amount of discipline could fix. The more he trained, the slower his instincts became. During sparring, his body knew the counter before his conscious mind registered the attack. But lately, a half-second delay. His thoughts would intercept his reflexes. He'd see an opening and think, is this the right moment? What if he's baiting me? Remember what sensei said about. And the opening would close. Other students noticed. Whispers in the dojo after training. His overthinking. Too much study. Not enough mushin. But Takeshi didn't understand mushin, no mind. To him, it sounded like emptiness. Passivity. How could removing thought make you sharper? So he did what every disciplined person does when something isn't working. He tried harder. More repetitions. Longer meditation sessions. Stricter schedules. He read every text on focus and concentration he could find. His mind grew louder. The morning before a critical demonstration for a potential patron, Takeshi woke at 3 a.m., exhausted despite sleeping 8 hours. His thoughts were thick. Sticky. Every technique he visualized felt sluggish. He didn't know that his entire understanding was about to shatter. One afternoon, he encountered an old swordsman sitting outside the dojo gates. The man was weathered, maybe 60, with a scar that ran from temple to jaw. He was doing something strange, staring at a leaf in his palm. Not studying it. Not meditating on it. Just looking. Your mind is a horse you've been whipping for years, the old man said without looking up. Takeshi stopped. Excuse me? Now you wonder why it won't run anymore. The man finally looked at him. His eyes were unnervingly calm. 3 days, the old man said. Give me 3 days. I'll show you what Musashi learned before Ganryu Island. What followed was the most difficult practice Takeshi had ever attempted. And it had nothing to do with effort. The first exercise seemed insultingly simple. Hold your sword, the old man instructed. The training bokken. Hold it in front of you. Takeshi obeyed. His stance was perfect, centuries of lineage encoded in his muscle memory. Now stop doing anything with your mind. Takeshi blinked. Stop, what? You're trying to hold the sword correctly. Stop trying. You're already holding it. Let your body hold it. You, the thinking part, do nothing. I don't understand. I know. Do it anyway. For the first 20 minutes, Takeshi's mind rebelled. His inner voice screamed commentary, this is stupid. I'm just standing here. My grip is loosening. Should I adjust? Is this the point? Am I doing it wrong? Every few seconds, he'd notice himself thinking and try to stop thinking, which created more thinking about not thinking. His arms began to shake. Not from physical fatigue, the sword was light. From the exhausting effort of trying not to try. You're still doing it, the old man said. You're trying to create emptiness. Emptiness isn't created. It's what's left when you stop creating. How do I stop? You can't stop by trying to stop. You stop by letting attention rest on something that doesn't require thought. The old man placed a smooth river stone in Takeshi's left hand. Feel the stone. Not the idea of the stone. The actual temperature. The actual weight. When your mind narrates, I'm feeling the stone, this is cool, this is smooth, come back to the direct sensation. No words. Just contact. Takeshi tried. His mind produced an avalanche. This is pointless. I should be training. What does this have to do with swordsmanship? The stone is cool. Wait, I'm narrating again. Stop. Feel. Am I feeling? What does feeling without thinking even mean? This is. 8 times in the last minute, the old man observed, you've left the stone to argue with yourself. Takeshi's frustration peaked. I don't know how to feel something without thinking about it. You do it constantly. When you're deeply exhausted, just before sleep, you're not thinking. When you wake suddenly at night, for a few seconds, no thought. When you're in the perfect flow of a duel, no commentary. You know this state. You've just never practiced entering it deliberately. The old man stood. We're going to do something that will seem cruel. You'll stand here, holding the sword in right hand, stone in left, for 2 hours. You will do nothing but return attention to the direct feeling of the stone every time your mind wanders. 2,000 times if necessary. This is Kanso no Keiko, the practice of simplification. Musashi called it polishing the mirror of attention. You're not adding anything. You're removing the fog your mind constantly creates. 2 hours of this. Musashi did it for 6, daily, for 3 years. Takeshi wanted to quit. Walk away. This wasn't training, this was torture. But something in the old man's stillness kept him there. He continued because he had no other options left. Day 2 brought a shift. During the morning session, Takeshi experienced something strange. For just 7 seconds, he counted later, his mind went quiet. Not empty. Quiet. He was aware of the stone's cool weight. The sword's balanced pull. The wind on his face. But no narrator explaining these things. No evaluator judging whether he was doing it right. Just presence. It felt like surfacing from underwater. Colors sharper. Sounds clearer. A bizarre sense of restfulness despite standing motionless. The moment passed. Thought returned with a vengeance. That was it. I did it. That's Mushin. I need to do that again. How did I? And it was gone. You found it, the old man said. For a few seconds. Musashi said, in the beginning, 7 breaths of silence is enough to understand the principle. Most never find even 3. The old man began walking the perimeter of the dojo yard. Your mind is exhausted because it never stops working. Even when you sleep, it processes. Even when you think you're relaxing, it narrates your relaxation. That voice in your head, the one commenting on everything, planning, judging, remembering, it consumes enormous energy. Takeshi nodded. He'd never thought about it that way. The samurai discovered that this voice isn't you. It's a tool. Like your sword. But imagine carrying your sword every moment, never setting it down, even to eat or sleep. Your arm would collapse. So, Mushin is putting down the sword. Close. Shiko no teishi, stopping thought movement. Not removing awareness. Removing the compulsive narrator. The samurai realized something neuroscience now confirms. Your wisest actions come from a part of mind that doesn't use words. The old man drew his sword, a real blade, not training wood. When I cut, where does the decision happen? He moved. A lateral strike, perfectly calibrated, stopping 1 inch from a hanging wind chime. The chime didn't swing. Did you see me think about distance? Angle? Speed? No. Because I didn't. My body mind knows. 30,000 repetitions created that knowledge. But if I think while cutting, if my narrator says adjust the angle, watch the distance, I'm slower. Clumsier. The verbal mind is too slow for reality. Takeshi felt something click. So when I'm fatigued, you're not physically tired. Your narrator is exhausted. It's been running commentary for 16 hours straight. Imagine someone following you all day, describing everything you see. Now we're walking. Now we're turning. That cloud looks like a horse. I wonder what's for dinner. You'd be drained. But I'm doing that to myself. Everyone is. The old man sheathed his sword. Today, we add movement. You'll practice kata, slowly, while maintaining attention on the stone in your left hand. Your body will execute technique. Your narrator will have nothing to do but feel the stone. This is where the real training begins. Takeshi intensified his practice. When executing the overhead strike, he became the strike. No thought about form. No evaluation of correctness. His hand felt the stone. His body remembered 10,000 repetitions. The first hour was chaos. His mind constantly interrupted, too slow. Sensei would correct this angle. Is the old man watching? My foot position is. Each time, return to the stone. Temperature. Weight. Texture. The thoughts didn't stop. But something changed in his relationship to them. Before, he believed every thought. Now, he saw them as weather passing through a clear sky. Present. Irrelevant. The other students gathered to watch, whispering. This strange exercise looked like meditation, but Takeshi was moving through kata with increasing fluidity. He looks different, one student murmured. The old man watched, said nothing, waited. Day 3 brought the real test. The sensei called for full-speed sparring. Takeshi faced his dojo rival, Kenji, faster, more aggressive, younger. Old Takeshi would have been strategizing. He favors the left. If he opens with the rising strike, I'll counter with. New Takeshi held the stone in his left hand even during sparring. It was small enough to grip while holding the bokken. He simply watched Kenji. Not thinking about Kenji. Watching. The match began. Kenji lunged. Takeshi's body moved before his mind registered the attack. A sidestep he'd practiced 10,000 times. His sword found Kenji's ribs, a clean point. The dojo went silent. Kenji reset, more cautious. He feinted high, struck low. Takeshi's block was already there. Not anticipated. Responded to. His body read Kenji's body without verbal translation. 3 exchanges. 3 points. Not close. Takeshi felt no excitement. No pride. Just a quiet hum of presence. After the match, his body was tired, good tired. But his mind? For the first time in years, it felt rested. Something miraculous had happened. He'd fought at his highest level while thinking at his lowest. Kenji approached after, confused. What happened to you? Takeshi looked at the stone in his palm. I stopped trying to win. Then how did you? I don't know. I just fought. That evening, the old man called him over. Takeshi, he said, his voice carrying the weight of decades, you've touched Mushin no Shin, mind of no mind. But don't mistake silence for emptiness. Takeshi sat, finally ready to understand. When Musashi wrote the Book of 5 Rings, he included teachings he told his students never to share freely. Do you know why? Because people would misunderstand. Because people would think they understood without doing the work. They'd read no mind and believe it means no thought. It doesn't. The old man drew a circle in the dirt. Your mind has layers. The surface, the narrator, the strategist, the warrior, that's Hyojishin, the everyday mind. Beneath that is Shishin, the bottom mind that knows without words. Deeper still is Zanshin, the awareness that persists after action. He drew another circle inside the first. The samurai trained to operate from here, he pointed to the inner circle, while the surface mind rested. Not absent. Resting. Like a blade returned to its sheath. The stone, Takeshi said slowly, it gave my narrator something to do. Exactly. Your narrator is like a puppy. You can't command it to sit still through force. But give it a simple task, feel the stone, watch the breath, hear the wind, and it quiets naturally. Meanwhile, your deeper mind operates freely. This is why I'm not fatigued. This is why Musashi could fight 6 duels in one day and paint masterpieces by candlelight the same night. He understood Kokoro no Kyuyo, rest of heart mind. Not rest from activity. Rest within activity. The old man stood, preparing to leave. Your generation confuses effort with progress. You think the exhausted mind is proof of hard work. The samurai knew differently, an exhausted mind is a dull blade. And a dull blade, no matter how forcefully swung, cannot cut clearly. Takeshi bowed deeply. Who are you? Why did you teach me this? I'm no one. And I taught you because 40 years ago, I was you, disciplined, accomplished, and broken. An old swordsman taught me what I've now taught you. The man walked toward the gate, then paused. One more thing. Musashi called this Kinshisureta Shurin, the forbidden practice. Not because it's secret. Because it's simple. And people reject what's simple, believing complexity is the path to mastery. You'll be tempted to add more, techniques, strategies, methods. Don't. The stone. The breath. The direct sensation. That's the whole path. He disappeared into the evening. Takeshi looked at the river stone in his hand. For the first time in years, his mind was quiet. And in that quietness, he was sharper than ever. Before we continue, let's understand what was actually happening in Takeshi's brain. Modern neuroscience has discovered something the samurai knew 400 years ago. Your brain has two primary networks, the default mode network and the task-positive network. The DMN, that's the narrator. The voice in your head creating stories, plans, judgments, commentary. It activates when you're not focused on external tasks. Here's the problem. In modern life, the DMN never shuts off. You're answering emails while thinking about dinner, while planning tomorrow, while replaying yesterday's conversation. Your DMN is generating internal narrative 16 hours a day. Each shift of attention, each internal comment, each evaluation, consumes glucose and depletes neurotransmitters. This is measurable. Brain imaging shows the DMN as one of the highest energy consumers in the brain. When Takeshi practiced feeling the stone while executing kata, he was doing something neurologically specific. He was engaging his sensory cortex and motor cortex, the task-positive network, while giving his DMN a simple, non-verbal focus point. This isn't mysticism. This is measurable neural regulation. Studies on attention training show that practitioners who maintain non-verbal sensory awareness for extended periods demonstrate significant decreases in DMN activation. Their brains literally use less energy while maintaining higher cognitive performance. Dr. Judson Brewer at Brown University, studying meditation and attention, found that experienced practitioners show 40% less activity in the posterior cingulate cortex, the core hub of the DMN, during tasks requiring focus. Translation: their narrator shuts up. And their performance increases. The samurai didn't have fMRI machines, but they understood the principle perfectly. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary duelist who remained undefeated in 61 duels, wrote in the Book of Five Rings. In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close and to take a distance view of close things. The former is seeing with the eye. The latter is seeing with the mind. To know the mind while not using the mind, this is the heart of the matter. This is Mushin, mind of no mind. But there's a deeper layer. Mushin, literal translation, no heart mind, deeper meaning, the state of acting without the interference of conscious thought, where intuition and trained instinct operate freely. Takeshi Nakamura, a modern researcher studying samurai psychology, explained it this way. Mushin doesn't mean the absence of consciousness. It means the absence of the self-conscious observer, the part of you that comments on what you're doing while you're doing it. That observer is the source of hesitation, self-doubt, and mental fatigue. But there's a deeper principle beneath Mushin. Kanso no Keiko, the practice of simplification. This is what the old man taught Takeshi. Not emptiness. Radical simplification of mental activity. When you hold the stone and return attention to direct sensation every time your mind wanders, you're training a specific cognitive skill, the ability to disengage from compulsive thinking and return to nonverbal awareness. This is what modern psychology calls attentional control or metacognitive awareness. But the samurai approach was more sophisticated than modern mindfulness. Here's the mechanism. Your verbal mind, the narrator, operates in linguistic concepts. It thinks in words, plans in sentences, judges in evaluations. This requires the prefrontal cortex, the most energy-expensive region of your brain. Your body mind, what samurai called shishin, operates in direct perception and trained response. It doesn't use language. When you've practiced a movement 10,000 times, your cerebellum and motor cortex execute it without prefrontal involvement. Mental fatigue isn't physical exhaustion. It's prefrontal cortex depletion. Every decision you make, every plan you evaluate, every judgment you form, these drain a finite resource. Roy Baumeister's research on ego depletion showed that cognitive control tasks measurably reduce performance on subsequent tasks requiring willpower or decision-making. You get mentally fatigued because your narrator never stops narrating. The samurai solution: Give the narrator a simple task that doesn't require verbal processing. Feel the breath. Watch the horizon. Hold the stone. This isn't distraction. It's strategic reassignment. Your narrator is occupied with something that doesn't drain prefrontal resources, while your deeper intelligence, trained through thousands of repetitions, operates freely. Musashi wrote, "Think without thinking. Act without acting. This is the void that is not void." He wasn't being cryptic. He was describing a specific neurological state. When Takeshi fought Kenji while maintaining awareness of the stone, his motor cortex and cerebellum executed technique. His visual cortex tracked movement. His parietal lobe calculated distance and timing. All without linguistic processing. No internal commentary, "He's faster than me. I should counter. What if I miss?" Just action arising from trained instinct. The result? Peak performance with minimal cognitive cost. This is what the samurai meant by kokoro no kyuyo, rest of heart-mind. Not rest from activity. Rest during activity. Your body works. Your deeper mind perceives and responds. Your narrator rests on a simple anchor. And for the first time in your life, you stop exhausting yourself with your own thoughts. This isn't a metaphor. This is neuroscience the samurai discovered through disciplined introspection. The principle, mental fatigue, comes not from hard work, but from the compulsive verbal processing that accompanies all work. Silence the narrator through strategic simplification, and you can work longer, think clearer, and perform better, indefinitely. Musashi lived this until age 62, creating art and strategy until his final days. His mind never dulled. Because he never wore it out. Now let's bring this into your life. Sarah was 31, a software architect at a cybersecurity firm. Brilliant. Disciplined. 12-hour workdays solving complex system vulnerabilities. She meditated 15 minutes every morning. Exercised 4 times weekly. Journaled. Did everything the optimization culture prescribed. And yet, by 2 p.m. every day, her mind was mud. Code that should take 30 minutes took 90. Simple decisions felt monumental. Her brain felt like it was processing through static. When she discovered Kanso no Keiko, everything changed. She started with something absurdly simple, a smooth stone from her garden, sitting on her desk. Every time she noticed her mind narrating her work, "This function is inefficient, I'm not as fast as yesterday, I wonder if the team thinks I'm slowing down," she'd place her left hand on the stone for 3 breaths. Not thinking about the stone. Feeling it. Temperature. Texture. Weight. 3 breaths. Back to work. The first day, she did this 4 to 7 times. Her narrator was relentless. 2 weeks later, 15 times. A month later, her mental endurance had fundamentally changed. She could code for 4 straight hours, deeply focused work, and feel mentally fresh afterward. Her secret, the narrator was resting on the stone while her trained intelligence solved problems. Here's how to practice Kinshi Soreta Shuren, the forbidden discipline, starting today. Step 1. Choose your anchor, the simplicity selection. Find an object with distinct sensory qualities. A smooth stone. A wooden bead. A piece of fabric with texture. This is your anchor. Not a symbol. Not a meditation tool. A simple sensory target. Keep it with you. On your desk. In your pocket. Visible and accessible. Common mistake, choosing something complex or meaningful. A religious icon. A photo. These engage your conceptual mind, the opposite of what we want. How to know you're doing it right? Your anchor should have no story. Just texture, temperature, weight. Step 2. The 3-breath return, cognitive reset protocol. The moment you notice your mind narrating, commenting, judging, planning, worrying, stop. Place your hand on the anchor. 3 breaths. Feel only the direct sensation. Not "I'm feeling a smooth stone." The actual cool temperature. The actual weight. No words. If your mind narrates during this, "Am I doing this right? This feels silly. I should get back to work, that's normal." Notice the narration. Return to sensation. Why this step matters: you're training the most important cognitive skill of the modern age, the ability to disengage from compulsive thinking on command. The samurai called this toma, stop. Not suppression. Clean disengagement. Step 3. Integrate with deep work, the Shishin protocol. Once you've practiced step 2 for a week, add this layer. During focused work, writing, coding, analysis, creation, keep your anchor in your non-dominant hand or within arm's reach. Set an intention: my body mind will do this work. My narrator will rest on the anchor. When you notice yourself thinking about the work instead of doing the work, return to the anchor. 3 breaths. Resume. This is the practice Takeshi used during kata. Your trained skills execute. Your narrator rests. Your awareness supervises without interfering. Expected challenge. You'll think you're being lazy or unfocused. You're not. You're accessing the non-verbal intelligence that doesn't fatigue. Solution. Judge by results. If your output quality and mental endurance increase, you're doing it correctly, regardless of what it feels like. Step 4. Evening restoration. Zanshin practice. Before sleep, hold your anchor for 5 minutes. Do nothing else. No meditation app. No music. No intention to relax. Just feel the object. When your mind reviews the day, I should have said that differently, tomorrow I need to, I wonder if they noticed, return to sensation. This is Zanshin, the awareness that remains after action. You're teaching your nervous system that mental activity has an end. That the narrator can stop. Most people carry the day's mental momentum into sleep. Their minds never fully rest. This 5-minute practice creates a clean boundary, active mind. Resting mind. After 2 weeks, you'll notice deeper sleep. Clearer mornings. Less residual mental fatigue from previous days. Obstacles you'll face. Your mind will resist. It will say, this is too simple to work. I don't have time for this. I need to be thinking about my work, not feeling a stone. This is just meditation with extra steps. That's normal. Even Musashi's early students struggled with this. The Book of 5 Rings records one student saying, Master, I am a warrior. How does sitting with a pebble make me stronger? Musashi's response, when your mind is exhausted, your sword is heavy. When your mind is rested, your sword is light. I am not teaching you to sit with a pebble. I am teaching you to carry a light sword. When resistance arises, return to this. Judge by results, not by feelings. First week, you'll notice how relentlessly your narrator runs. This awareness alone is valuable. First month, moments of mental clarity during work. Less afternoon fatigue. Decisions come easier. 3 months, your baseline mental endurance increases. What used to drain you now feels sustainable. Eventually, you'll access the state Takeshi found, working at peak capacity while your mind feels rested. Not occasionally. Consistently. This isn't superhuman. This is returning your nervous system to its natural state before modern life taught you to think compulsively. Takeshi thought he'd learned a technique to fight better. But he'd discovered something deeper. Kanso no Keiko, the practice of simplification, wasn't just about swordsmanship. It was about reclaiming his mind from the tyranny of constant thought. He'd spent years believing that more thinking made him sharper. More planning. More analysis. More mental effort. But he'd been wrong. The voice in his head wasn't wisdom. It was noise. And noise, no matter how sophisticated, obscures signal. Remember the paradox from the beginning? The most disciplined people, doing everything right, mentally exhausted despite optimization? Now you understand. They optimized everything except the one thing consuming their mental energy, the compulsive narrator that never stops commenting on their lives. This is what separates the truly exceptional from the merely disciplined. Not more effort, but strategic rest within effort. Not emptying the mind, but giving the verbal mind a simple task while the deeper intelligence operates. The samurai understood this. They knew that a warrior's greatest weapon wasn't his sword. It was his attention. Where you place your attention determines not just what you perceive, but how much energy perception costs. Place it on the endless internal commentary, exhaustion. Place it on direct sensation, restoration. This isn't about becoming less ambitious. It's about sustainable intensity. Musashi wrote near the end of his life. I have never thought of myself as undefeated. I simply never fought while exhausted. And I was never exhausted because I learned early what most learn too late. The mind that comments on everything experiences nothing fully. And the mind that experiences nothing fully is already defeated. The real stakes here aren't about productivity. They're about something deeper. This is about becoming someone who can be fully present for their life, not narrating it, not judging it, but actually living it. Someone who works hard without burning out. Who thinks clearly without mental fog. Who acts decisively without exhausting themselves with deliberation. The samurai understood this. They built an entire martial philosophy around it. If you're ready to walk this path, if you're tired of being betrayed by your own mind and ready to reclaim your attention, subscribe to this channel. We're building a community of modern warriors who choose presence over performance theater, depth over distraction, sustainable intensity over burnout culture. Kanso no Keiko doesn't make you more productive. It makes you unshakable. And that changes everything. Find your stone. Walk with presence. Live with purpose. Become unshakable.